happy Monday, everybody. And we are just going to check our homework that was set for you on Friday. So hopefully you had a chance to do this over the weekend or on Friday afternoon. So we are looking at fraction addition. Some of them are really simple, just adding across the top. Some of them need to be converted. Some of them involve some mixed numbers. So there's a variety of different difficulties and challenge for us. So let's have a look at number 1 first of all. Now this is a really easy one. We know that the bottom, the denominators of fractions need to be the same and that we never add the denominators together or subtract them. So I know that my denominator is 7. Because they're the same already, we don't have to do anything other than add the top. So we do 4, add 2, which gives us 6. So you should have got 6/7 for that first one. Now, number 2 is a little bit trickier because we do need to convert them because we've got an 8 on the denominator and a 4. However, we don't need to think too hard about our times tables and what we can make them both into, because we should know off the top of our heads that we can get a 4 into our 8. So we can turn 1/4 into 8ths. So if you remember, you think about what you've timesed it by and do the same to the top. So to get 4 to 8, I've timesed it by 2. Oh, that's a funny 2. And so I've got 1 times 2 would give me 2. So then I've got them the same. So I've got 3/8. Ooh, because that stays the same. 3/8 add 2/8. I know that the bottom, the denominator of my fraction must be 8 because we don't add the bottoms. Then I've got 3 plus 2, which would give me 5. So hopefully you had 5/8 for number 2. Now, number 3 gets a little bit trickier once again because I cannot make 6 go into 11. So I'm going to have to find a common multiple. So if I think about my 11 times table and my 6 times table, which number comes up first in both of those times tables? And then I need to convert them both into that. Now, this one's a bit tricky because you have to go quite far. So the first number that comes up in both of those times tables is 66. So if we say we're aiming to get them both into 66, which is a big number. Now, what do I times 11 by to get 66? I times it by 6, okay? So 11 times 6 is 66. And so the top of my fraction becomes 12 because 2 times 6 gives me 12. So I've converted that one. Then I need to look, what do I times 6 by to get 66? Well, I times that by 11. So 6 times 11 gives me 66. And so I then need to work out what 5 times 11 is, which is 55. So now I've converted them both to the same common denominator. So the first number that is in both their times tables. Then I just add them across. So I know that the bottom of my fraction is going to be 66. So then I do 12 plus 55, which gives me 67. Now, I know some people have struggled with turning improper fractions into mixed numbers. 67/66 is still correct, so give yourself a tick if you got that. Or you might have converted it into 1 and 1/66. Okay, either answer is correct. So don't worry if you didn't convert it, but both of those are right, so you can give yourself a tick. Then we've got 3/5 add 2/9. Again, slightly trickier because we can't turn 5 into 9 and we can't turn 9 into 5. So we need to look for that common multiple again. So what number comes in the 5 and the 9 times table? And it is, of course, 45. So we are looking at converting both our fractions out of 45. So then I need to think, what do I times 5 by to get 45? Well, I times it by 9. So then I have to do 9 times 3, which gives me 27, because I do whatever I do to the bottom to the top. What do I times 9 by to get 45? I times it by 5. 2 times 5 gives me 10. And so then all I do is add across. So I know that the bottom of my fraction is going to be 45. Because we don't ever add the denominators, the bottoms. And then we do 27 add 10, which is 37 45ths. And you cannot simplify that down, so that should be the answer you got. So 37 45ths. The next one goes back to easy peasy. We've got 7 as our denominator. So that doesn't look like a 7. But so our 7 stays the same on the top, on the bottom, on the denominator. Then we add the numerators. So 6 add 2, which gives us 8. Now again, 8/7 is also correct if you've left it as an improper fraction, but you might have chosen to simplify it to a mixed number and have 1 and 1/7. So again, if you simplified it or not, they're both correct. And now the final one of the question set for you was a little bit trickier because it involves a mixed number. So you need to add an extra step to the ones that we were doing. So if you remember, the first thing we need to do is turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. And we do that because we've got 1 whole. We're working in eighths, so 1 whole is the same as 8/8. So 1 whole is the same as 8/8, and then we add our 5/8, so 8 add 5, which would give us 13/8. So remember, convert this into an improper fraction. So 1 and 5/8 is the same as 13/8 because 1 is the same as 8/8 because it's a whole. So then that gives us the sum 13/8 add 1/6. And now this is exactly the same as the ones that we've already done. We need to convert the eighths and the 6 into a common multiple. So I can't get 6 into 8. I can't get 8 into 6. So what number comes in both of those times tables first? And that would be 24. So then we do exactly what we did with the other numbers. Once we've done that one extra step, 24. So what do I times 8 by to get 24? I times it by 3. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So 13 times 3 gives us 39. And then what do I times 6 by to get 24? I times it by 4. So then I've got 1 times 4, which gives me 4. So now I've got 39 24ths, add 4 24ths, add them together, and my 24ths would stay the same on the bottom because we don't add the denominators. The top would become 43, so 39 add 4. So 43 24ths is correct. So give yourself a tick if you did that. But you can also, again, turn it into a mixed number. So how many 24s go into 43? Well, it goes in once. And then we've got 19 less, so it becomes 19 24s. You cannot simplify 19 24s, so that should be your final answer if you chose to do it as a mixed number. So give yourself a mark out of 6. How many did you get right? For tomorrow, so for tomorrow's homework, so to check back tomorrow, I would like you to do the same page, so page 33, but I want you to do the rest of the questions, so questions 7 to 12, okay? So try and get those done, the exact same strategies as we have done in these ones today, okay?